I'm John Benson, I'm Guy's brother. We're here today to celebrate Guy's life, as you know. Leland Guy Benson was born on January 11th, 1953, and he died February 13th, 2023. Guy was really proud that he made it to 70 years old. And I think it's very fitting to hold Guy's celebration of life here at the Unitarian Church Coffee House in the Unitarian Church. Guy took over the coffee house, and ran it for years, but the coffee house actually brought a lot of meaning to Guy's life. Guy grew into his own as a performer at the coffee house here, and through it gave back to the community of music in Salt Lake and other places. The open mic was a great place for new artists to get their performance feet wet, and Guy helped make the coffee house a great place to come and get a good cup of coffee, listen to some great music, and to share some good tunes with each other. My brother Guy was many things. Guy was a musician, award-winning guitarist, composer. Guy was a true purveyor of performance, helping others to find their way in music. Guy was also a sound engineer, an expert bicycle mechanic, a bike racer at one time, a fly fisherman. He was an artisan fly tyer, lover of the outdoors, camper, hiker, skier, photographer, and he was also a bowling alley mechanic. And he was also a monster Scrabble player. And his motto was, "We suffer no fools." People may remember that. A Guy was my brother, and I loved him. I swear Guy saved my life once, at least once. We were telemarking off the groom runs at Alta. There were 2 to 3 feet of new, beautiful powder snow up near Catherine's Pass. And after hiking up away from the lift, we traversed over to a beautiful hillside, untracked hillside. I started down one way, and Guy started down another. I took a turn too close to a pine tree and was upended and fell backwards down into the funnel-shaped hole that surrounded the tree. A tree hole is formed by the shadow of a pine tree where the light, fluffy snow filters down through the needles and doesn't get compacted. I found myself hanging upside down by my skis in this pit, choking on the light powder snow. I panicked for about 3 or 4 minutes and trying to unsnap my skis and get myself out of there, but no luck. Then I heard laughter above me. Guy later said he didn't know why he did it, but he turned around to follow me and saw that my tracks just disappeared. After a lot of tugging and pulling, he got me out onto solid ground. Guy had truly saved my life that day. And from then on, I gave trees a lot more room. And thank God for a brother. But Guy told me the best thing he ever did in his life was to have a daughter. Sage Grace Benson is that person. Sage is here today, sitting in the front row, from New Zealand, and her fiancé, Sam O'Neill. Sage was the love of Guy's life and his pride and joy. Guy had a hard life, though, from a medical standpoint, but he was extremely tough. Guy was born with a congenital aorta defect. His heart couldn't get enough blood to his legs, and as a kid, he couldn't walk up a flight of stairs. He was 18 before there was technology to diagnose it, let alone treat it. When Guy was 3, the doctors told our parents, move to a lower elevation so he could breathe better. So our family uprooted and moved to Southern California. But we moved back to Salt Lake after that, about 9 months, because my dad couldn't find any work. When Guy was 18, medical technology had caught up, and he was able to have the offending section of his aorta replaced And it was a major, major surgery for him. I remember him actually reading the Bible. It made Guy a whole person again, though, and for the first time in his life, he could do the things that other people could. Guy caught rheumatic fever when he was 15, and as a result, he was in bed for a year and a half. Rheumatic fever depleted the calcium in his system to a point that he had to have all his teeth removed, and our dentist didn't know how else to combat all the infection and disease setting into his teeth. So as a result, Guy wore dentures for the rest of his life. While he was in bed, though, Guy had a lot of time on his hands. He learned to tie flies, fishing became an obsession. He also learned to repair bicycles. Our parents got him a bike, promising that when he got better, he could get up and ride it, and he did that. He was tough. I think it was about that time we got our first guitar. It was a K classical nylon string, big bugger, and sounded like hell. Guy took to music naturally and played the guitar from the very start. He was very good. And guitar became, as you know, his form of self-expression. Unfortunately, later in life, Guy developed a lot more medical problems. Heart, breathing, blood, kidney problems, you name it. One doctor called it the trifecta of terminal illnesses. But Guy fought very hard over many, many years with blood transfusions, breathing machines, chemotherapy, but in the end, he lost that battle. But Guy's life was a full and wonderful life. It was a beautiful life, a life I only kind of knew remotely in a way. He had a daughter. He committed to remain sober for over 30 years. He had many wonderful lifelong friends, many of which are in this room right now. And he made a big impact on the music community and many of our lives. And we will never forget Guy Benson. So we're gathered here today with friends and family to celebrate Guy's life with music and friendship and love. And I know I'm going to leave a few people out. Sorry about that, but I would like to thank some very awesome folks for making this event happen today and for making a difference in Guy's life. Todd Schultz and IAMA for helping to put this event on. Stephanie Park and the Unitarian Church for a wonderful venue. Tristan Moore for all the audio and video streaming tech. Craig Nelson for having a huge heart and seeing to Guy's many, many storage needs over the years. To Leah and Eric Deflison, who have selflessly cared for Jezebel and the Subaru. Michael Feldman, who brought Guy chicken and matzo ball soup in the hospital and provided a great performance venue over the years and a great place to get a bite to eat. For Jerry Hatch for being there all the times he could be. Daniel Carpenter for giving Guy his last good jam session in the rehab unit. And Marv Hamilton for being Guy's friend and calling bullshit out on him when necessary. A very special thanks to Vicki McDaniel and Star Place. They were the angels that stood beside Guy and helped him out with his medical needs, and were true angels about that. Also, thanks to Dr. Jamie Longy and Claire Davies, among many others, who provided Guy special medical care throughout his life. And thank you all for being here, for Guy and his family and friends. Todd has assembled a great program today of some wonderful performers, and I'm going to let him tell you all about it. Thank you.
Well, thanks, John. And I want to thank everybody for coming this afternoon. Again, this is a celebration of life, and we decided music's it. So we're going to have lots and lots of music from from a lot of guys, old friends tonight. We could have made this go till midnight with all the people that wanted to play, but we're kind of limited to a couple hours, so we're going to make the best of it. Couple quick announcements. We do have in Elliott Hall, we've got lots and lots of pizza, coffee, and some sparkling water. So if you need a break, there's no food or water allowed in the chapel here, but long afternoon, we want to make sure everybody's blood sugar's up. So sneak in there and grab a piece of pizza and some coffee. It's in the coffee house tradition, of course. We have a closed circuit TV set up in there, so if you get stuck in there for a few minutes, you can definitely not miss any of the great music that we've got assembled for us. So this has been, so many people wanted to play. So next Sunday, the 21st of May, we're going to have a special commemorative open mic at the Sugar Arts Warehouse, which is like 800 West and 132 South. So that's going to be a little bit more of a traditional open mic. That's an open mic that's been going on since January. It's a nice space and a lot of the spirit in there. A lot of the old folks in the coffee house are actually have been playing down there. So if you get a chance, come on down. That'll be fun. But okay, I need to get some musicians up here because that's what we want to hear. We have a special stool here with Guy's guitar, the Mossman, and his shirt and his hat. So I'm sure Guy is here in spirit, or he might be fishing, depending. It's a beautiful day to go fishing. So hopefully, yeah, he might be a little late. I'm sure he'll show up at the end because he wants to make sure Marv doesn't screw up any chords. So first up, we have Craig Schreiber, who's playing Guy's Rain Song guitar, which he won as the winner of the Utah State Instrument Championship fingerstyle guitar, a competition a few years back. And Craig and Guy became quite close the last few years, and so it's great that Craig's bringing out the Rain Song. So let's listen. Thank you, Craig. Let's have a round of applause for Craig.
Let me adjust this mic a little bit. Well, we have two songs to play for you. It's wonderful. I've been, thinking all day today how one more time Guy brought the community together, and it's just wonderful to see so many faces here and so many old friends and a bunch of new ones too. So it's great to be here. This is a song when Guy and I'd get together every once in a while. We'd play this song, and I don't know if we spent more time playing the song or arguing about whether James Keelahan wrote the right words to it or not. Yeah, my name is Dodge, but you know that. It's written on the chart there at the foot end of the bed. You think I'm blind, that I can't read it. I've read every word, and every word it says is death. So confession, is that the reason that you came? Get it off my chest, for I check out of the game. Now that you mentioned it, there's 13 things I'll name. 13 crosses high above the Missouri water. August 49, North Montana. The hottest day on record, and the timber was bone dry. Lightning strikes in the mountains. I was crew chief at the base camp. I prepared the boys to fly. Pacific drop zone. C-47 comes in low. Feel the tap on your leg that tells you go. See the circle of that fire down below. 16 of us dropped into the cold Missouri water. Gates of fire, yeah, I've seen bigger. So I ordered them to Side Hill. We'd fight it from below. We'd have our back to the river. Yeah, we'd have a lick by morning even if we took it slow. But the fire crowned jumped the valley straight ahead. There was no way down, headed for the ridge instead. Too big to fight it, we'd have to fight that slope instead. Flames one step behind above the cold Missouri water. The sky was red, smoke was boiling. 200 yards to safety, death was 50 feet below. I don't know why, I just thought it. I lit a match to waist-high grass, running out of time. Tried to tell them, step to this fire that I've set. We can make it. This is the only chance you'll get. But they cursed me, headed for the rocks instead. I lay face down and prayed above the cold Missouri waters. Well, when I arose like the phoenix, in a world reduced to ashes, there were none but two survived. We stayed that night, one day after. Carried bodies to the river, wondering how I'd stayed alive. 13 stations of the cross to mark their fall. I'll join them soon, those that left me long ago. But they're gone now, I just don't know. 13 crosses high above the cold Missouri waters. 13 crosses high above the cold Missouri shore. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. One more song. There are two things that I really loved about Guy. One was his mentorship and his encouragement of everybody. And you know, so many faces here. You know what I'm talking about. Guy was there, and he helped us and pushed us, and sometimes insulted us along the way. But you know, he really was out there trying to help people and help people better themselves in the music scene. And another thing was his curation. That guy, he had the finest list of songs. He had songs that most of the time I'd never heard before, but man, they were just great. And he would just present these songs, and it always touched my heart with what would come out of his mouth and guitar. So this is one of my songs that I've kind of done a rereading on to dedicate to Guy. When you're not with me, I feel the rain. The walls can't keep it out. I'm in such pain. They tell me you're not coming back. Don't think I'll see you again. When you're not with me, I feel the always helped us to sing our songs. You're right there beside us, all alone. I cried when you left us here. Those tears just bring on pain. When you're not with me, I feel the rain. I'm sure gonna miss those songs that you chose to play. Those wonderful feelings you always convey. Yeah, you really touched my heart with everything that you said. When you're not with me, I feel the rain. The night's so long, I can't find sleep. Yeah, the pain and the sadness, it runs so deep. They tell me you're not coming back. Don't think I'll see you again. When you're not with me, I feel the rain. I feel the rain. I feel the rain. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, God.
Thanks, Craig. That was great. Craig, do you still have the guitar out? There's an autograph on this guitar, which I had forgotten about, signed by Tommy Emmanuel. That I think it was at Kingsbury, right? Was it Kingsbury? I think. Yeah, Bob Bland and I and Keith Taylor and Guy went to see. Kristen was there. Yeah, to see Tommy Emmanuel up at Kingsbury Hall here on a cold January night, as I recall. And of course, Guy brought we had a meet and greet thing, and he had got Tommy to sign the guitar. That's awesome. The value of that guitar just went way up. Yeah, that's great. Okay, we're going to enter. Yeah, he won it at the Utah State Instrument Championships as the fingerstyle champion a few years back. Vicki, we're going to have a few little eulogies intermixed here with the music, and Vicki McDaniel, you're up.
I am.
Do you want to go later?
I can say a very quick thing.
Well, it's up to you.
Where do I go?
Right here. Vicki, very old friend of Guy's, although she's young, but she knew Guy for a long time. Be careful. And certainly during the last few months of Guy's life that Vicki was there. She was an angel in the hospital and helping Guy out. But anyway, Vicki.
Okay. Just very few words, because I know many of you here knew Guy for a lot more years than I ever did. And John just hit it all home. He stole some of my words, like I knew Sage was the love of his life after Jezebel. And, no, just kidding. And just one quick thought. I heard somebody say the other day, we have many acquaintances and few friends. And I think Guy had many friends and many acquaintances. And when an acquaintance got into his space, that acquaintance became a friend. And he was just, something's missing here. Can't you just kind of see him sort of, slugging along with his coffee cup with his gentlemanly kind of smile? And and just talking to everybody. So that's pretty much it. We'll let the other really good stories come along. But he made me laugh my ass off more times than I can tell you. I'll tell you that. So, okay. That's
Great. Thank you, Vicki. That is a great story. All right. Next up, we have Anka Summerhill, Matt Seabury, going to play a few songs. I'm sorry? Oh, Marv. Yeah. There's Marv. I want to thank Marv for helping me put a lot of the music together for this afternoon. Of course, Marv and Guy toured for a while. What was it, Ornery? And
I'll tell you later.
Okay, he'll tell the story later.
Here, does that work? Oh my.
So, I think it was in 1988, that I found this coffee house at the urging of a friend that I was going to graphic design school with, and he kept bugging me. He said, "You gotta come to this coffee house, you gotta come to this coffee house." And I finally came to the coffee house and met Guy, Benson, and this wonderful community, and my life just completely changed once I came to the coffee house. I remember we used to have a rickety stage set up in there that had carpet squares on it, and I thought, like, any day now, one of us is going to fall off of it, and that'll be it. But I think, I got to know Guy better at the Brighton Coffee House that he used to run. Remember that at the Canyon during the summer times when there wasn't an official coffee house here, and Marv and I were talking about that and really growing up together. That's what we've done all this time. And I'm going to sing one of the songs that was one of Guy's favorite songs of mine. It's called Stars at Noon, and he's one of those stars right now. Quiet beauty surrounds you. So does the wind the whole year too. Your red rock canyons are sheltered from many storms that I've been through. Canyons so deep you can't see the stars at noon. It's a paradise I'm thinking of. Dreaming comes easy as I'm held within these walls, and the river gently sings her lullaby. Sometimes the silence overwhelms me. Perhaps it's something in the air. I wish that I could go more often, for I find peace and comfort there. Canyons so deep you can see the stars at noon. It's a paradise I'm thinking of. Dreaming comes easy as I'm held within these walls, and the river gently sings her lullaby. still water swirls around late frost. This canyon serves as a reminder of so much wilderness that's
Lost.
canyon so deep you can see the stars at noon.
It's a paradise I'm thinking of.
Dreaming comes easy as I'm held within these walls, and the river gently sings her lullaby. Dreaming comes easy as I'm held within these walls, and the river gently sings her lullaby. So it seems like every time I turn around, I hear more and more of the wonderful things that Guy did for this community. There's so many things actually I didn't even really know about. And bringing people together for music is one of the best things, and singing together is one of the best things. And we're going to sing this song together because we all know it. This is a song written by Kate Wolf. It's called Across the Great Divide. So y'all help us sing that one. I've been walking in my sleep, counting troubles instead of counting sheep. Where the years went, I can't say. I just turned around, they've gone away, gone away, gone away. And yesterday, now I find myself on the mountainside, where the rivers change directions across the great divide. I've been sifting through the layers of dusty books and faded papers. They tell the stories I used to know, one that happened so long ago. It's gone away in yesterday. Now I find myself on the mountainside, where the rivers change direction across the great divide. Well, I heard, and now they're calling softly as the night was falling, with a question I replied, but he's gone across the borderline, gone away in yesterday. Now I the finest hours that I have seen is the one that falls between the edge of night and the break of day, when the darkness goes away. It's gone away in yesterday. Now I find myself on the mountainside, where the rivers change direction across the great divide, where the rivers change direction across the great divide. One more time. Where the rivers change direction across the great divide. Thank you, Marvin, for us.
All righty, thank you. Anka Summerhill, Matt Seabury, and of course Marv Hamilton and Carla Eskelson, who will be playing a little later with Dave. They're one of the founders, part of the founding family of the Coffee House, so we'll have a lot of Coffee House stories as we go along. Remember, we've got tons of pizza in the Elliott Hall if you get hungry. Lots of coffee. Thanks to Dale and Mary Sandberg, who came and made coffee for years and years and years. They would show up early and get the coffee going, put the chairs up and everything. And their hosted version of the Coffee House was March, as I recall, right, Dale? March for years, and it was always packed. You know, they would always bring some great musicians. They knew everybody in town, so a lot of great Coffee House stories. Next up, we have Mr. Bill Heener, and Bill started helping Guy out 2 or 3 years before the pandemic here at the Coffee House, helping again the setup and doing all the sound stuff. And Guy was training Bill to kind of take over as Bill's or as Guy's health was failing, and Bill was just a tremendous help those last couple of years of the Coffee House, and he's a fine singer and songwriter as well. So we're glad that Bill's going to come and play a few songs. So thank you, Bill. Bill Heener. Yeah, we do have some, and we also have an overflow area with a big screen TV in Elliott Hall for room.
Thank you, Todd. One of the most serendipitous things that has happened to me in a very, very long time, probably a decade, was meeting Guy Benson, my friend. I met him at a time where I only had maybe 6 months before his health started to get a little worse. And he asked if I would help him take over the Coffee House hosting duties. And it was my pleasure for those 2 years before the pandemic to get to slip into those very, very big shoes. Of 40 years, I understand he was doing that for the Coffee House. A lot of us would always joke that there was something about Guy that reminded us of the musician that you may know of, Townes Van Zandt. He had just this, I don't know, there's just this quality about Guy. Whenever he would play a song, anywhere, he would stop time. I don't know how that's possible, because he was the only person I knew that could stretch out a song to 6 minutes and make it feel like 3. Imagine my surprise when about a year ago, in one of our little noodling sessions, I presented him a new instrumental song that I wrote. And I played it for him in great anticipation of getting his feedback. And the first thing he said was, "It's too long." more serendipitously is that I also teach elementary school kids, and I was teaching a third grade class a couple of weeks ago, and I decided to play this song for them, thinking that I might play it here tonight, or this afternoon, and ask them the emotion that they felt when they heard the music, and just to come up with a word that describes what they felt when they heard it. And right as I finished, a hand right in the middle of the class went up and said, "It tells me goodbye." So I present to you goodbye. On January 1st, 1997, Townes Van Zandt died. And an acquaintance of mine and very famous Texas musician that you've never heard of, a guy by the name of Dana Cooper, wrote a tribute that day that he heard that news in an hour. He wrote a song called Boney Man that I think is maybe one of the most appropriate songs I could think of to play right now. This is Boney Man by Dana Cooper. Make way for the bony man. Hold the gate so his soul can pass. Lay him down in the dewy grass. Make way for the bony man. I held his hand and I felt it shake. Held the man and I felt him break. Spoke his name and he blew away like a leaf on a windy day. Well, I'll be home when the day is done, when my song is sung. I will shed this husk. Take the coin from my trembling lips. Roll me, boys, down the river Styx. Reach that shore 'cause I'm feeling sick. My poor heart is all spilled out. Up to the brim in a china cup. Down to the dregs, brother, drink it up. A drop of rain in the thirsty dust. A whippoorwill on a moonlit field. Well, I'll be home when the day is done, when my song is sung. I will shed this husk. You know I will shed this husk. A crooked smile on a stormy face, painted words on a burning page, a paper boat on a crashing wave. Who will pray for the bony man? Steal away, second story man. Trip that lock so my soul can pass. Lay me down in the broken glass. Make way for the bony man. Well, I'll be home when the day is done, when my song is sung. I will shed this husk. You know I will shed when my song is sung. Yeah, I will shed this husk. Thank you.
All righty, thank you. Thank you, Bill Heener. Okay, next up we have Michael Feldman. Of course, some of you know Michael from Feldman's Deli. Great restaurant, promoting music, live music Friday nights. So, and as John mentioned earlier, that Michael used to bring Guy like matzo ball soup and all kinds of goodies when he was 6, so that's pretty cool. And Guy was scheduled to play Michael's, I think on his birthday or right around his birthday in January, right? And unfortunately, didn't happen. So anyway, we're glad to have Michael here, Michael Feldman.
Thank you. Well, there are so many things I could say about Guy, but he introduced me to so much music that I just never knew, and he also, the times that I cherish the most is sitting on his back porch, just swapping songs. And this song I used to play with Guy. I used to back him up, and now I've got to play it myself. But this is a song that he introduced me to. It's a Jesse Thurgood song. Can you hear it? Montana mornings, Wyoming days, Idaho sunsets, skies all ablaze. Give me the mountains, they howl in gray. Constant creation, we're born every day. From each caldera, geysers of steam, wander the wasteland into my dreams. My spirit soars there in that wide open space. My spirit was born there in that faithful low place. And though I may wander so far and wide, still I'll return there to her riverside. Indian paintbrush, bluebells and rye, grisly old towers that claw at the sky. Big river thunders from the Yellowstone, showing her power is not like my own. My spirit soars there in that wide open space. My vision was born there in that faithful low place. And though I may wander so far and wide, still I'll return there to her riverside. Still I'll return there to her riverside. Thank you. This was in tune over there. Come on. This is a song I discovered from, well, it's actually a poem by Shel Silverstein. And Guy introduced me to the sawed-off capo, partial capo. Anyway, this is a song I rearranged from a poem by Shel Silverstein. This is one of Guy's favorite songs of mine. Well, it's still out of tune. Come on. Guy would not appreciate me playing out of tune. Damn it. Come on now. I think these Martin guitars would stay in tune. Whoops. This guitar is for sale. I'll let her go cheap. She's pretty to look at, but she don't earn her keep. She can roar like the west wind. She can weep, she can wail. but the tunes that she plays ain't selling today. This guitar is for sale. She laid right beside me on cold winter nights. She got me in trouble. She's won me some fights. We both came out all right. She knows all the sad songs that Hank ever wrote. Stroke her once gently, and she'll bring you on home. She'll tell you some stories about junkyards and jails, a fool and a song, dream that's gone wrong. This guitar is for sale. She rode across the country on freight trains and trucks, hung round pawn shop windows. When we're down on our luck, we've been down on our luck. So please treat her kindly, keep her out of the rain. It's funny you're asking. I never gave her a name. If you think she looks weary, been reading our mail. So if you've got the dough, buddy, take her and go. This guitar is for sale. She won me some ladies with her sweet loving songs. Yet she stayed right here with me when the ladies were gone, and the ladies are gone. Hard times and trouble have been dogging our tail. So if you've got the dough, buddy, take her and go. This guitar is for sale. If you've got the dough, just take her and go. This guitar is for sale. Thank you. And this is a song I wrote for your dad. Did you get it? Okay, good. This is going to be the hardest one for you to get through. And of course, take the capo off and get married to them. So this song, I wrote the day after he passed. And I felt like he was sitting on my shoulder. Kind of saying to me, if you're going to write a song about me, you better finger pick it. You can hear him saying that, right? It's called Time Has Come. His guitar with grace all the time, any place. mountain streams and waterfalls, songs to touch us all. Rest now, time has come. Voice soft, but always true, reaching every part of you. Stories about love-shattered dreams, flying petals, racers' screams, painted canvas, your work is done. Strings sing to his finger dance, his eyes penetrating glance. The rhythms bring comfort hugs and love's other drugs that you gave each and every one. Rest now, time has come. Love you guys.
Okay. Thank you, Michael Feldman. Much appreciated. Beautiful song. So Dave and Carla Eskelson go back. They're some of the original founders of the coffee house. A few years ago back, right, Carla? A couple of years? 80s. And they were also, the way the coffee house used to work is it was the second and fourth Friday of the month from like September through May. And on the first or the second Friday of the month was an open mic, and the fourth Friday was what they used to call the hosted coffee house, where Guy would recruit local music notables, and then they would invite their friends. So it was kind of a special evening. And so Dave and Carla always had November. It was always right around Thanksgiving, as I recall. And it was always packed because Dave and Carla know everybody. At least back in the day, although they're great, but it was just always a fun night. So Dale and Mary had March, and Dave and Carla had November, and those were the two coffee houses you could book on to be just absolutely packed. So, which was great because it paid the rent and paid for a lot of the coffee. So, but anyway, I'm glad that they were able to come and play. They haven't been out, Carla's telling me, since like pre-pandemic. So it's good that they're back out and playing, and let's have a round of applause. Dave and Carla Eskelson, the Eskeltones.
Thank you, that's very kind. be a little bit hot.
I will miss Guy's gentle voice on the phone, calling me to talk about coffee house stuff, and seeing him down at the Moab Folk Festival. We ran across each other a couple times down there. So here are two songs that we think Guy would like by T.R. Ritchie and Nancy Griffith. And I just would like to say, Guy, you made the world a better, kinder, more musical place.
See, I was
Thank you.
fine until you said that. This is why I'm not making remarks today. But Guy did always like when I would sing this, and he and I were early fans of Nancy Griffith's song.
This is the life I have been given. These are the seasons of my time, and I am seeking out the light according to design. I've weathered storms I cannot count to make this world my home, in a place where small and twisted things can split the hardest stone. In one like me, you might not see how I have managed to exist. A ragged, crooked rack of limbs in terrain as rough as this. But to those who take their chances here, experience has shown that sometimes small and twisted things can split the hardest stone. So shed no tears of pity here, spin no tales of tragic grace. Just let it be enough that life is blooming in this rocky place. It is a proof that seeds will grow wherever they are sown, and that sometimes small and twisted things can split the hardest stone. It is a proof that seeds will grow wherever they are sown, and that sometimes small and twisted things can split the hardest stone.
Carry things away, whether it's me that does the leading or the love that flies away. Moon outside my window, so lonely tonight. There's a chunk out of its middle, big enough for an old fool to hide. ago, we used to linger beneath street lamps and halos of smoke. The wing and the wheel carried us away. Now we all live out in the suburbs, where our dreams are in our children at play. There's a pale sky in the east, all the stars are in the west. Oh, and here's to all the dreamers, may our open hearts find rest. The wing and the wheel's gonna carry us along, and we'll have memories for company long after the songs are gone.
All right, Dave and Carla Eskelson, I'm glad that they could come down and play a few songs. We're getting Keith Taylor up here. I'll do my Jezebel story I've been waiting on. So about 2011, I got a call one afternoon. Guy called me up and said, "Hey, what are you doing? What's up?" He goes, "Can you drive me to Idaho Falls?" I said, "Okay. What's in Idaho Falls?" He says, "Well, I'm looking at this kind of RV that I'm thinking of buying." So we drive up to Idaho Falls, and it was love at first sight. Guy and Jezebel they just connected. So we drove around Idaho Falls for about 35 minutes on a little test drive, and Jezebel was, had a few years on her, was clanking, and I said, "Oh, you sure you want to get this car, and this?" He goes, "Oh yeah, this is it. This will be perfect for fishing trips and going to music festivals." So, okay, so he made the deal, and so we're driving back to Salt Lake, and on the downhills on I-15, Jezebel was doing about 45, and I'm like right behind him. And a couple times I had to turn my flashers on. It's like, okay, so we pull into Malad. And I go, "Everything going okay?" He says, yeah. I've gone through about a half a tank of gas. I go, "We've driven 80 miles. You sure you're good with this?" He goes, "Oh, yeah, this is it." So, okay. And so thus began the great relationship between Guy and Jezebel. And a lot of great fishing trips and music festivals and a lot of fun. So, Keith Taylor, speaking of fishing trips, one of Guy's fishing buddies, and he knows where the location of Top Secret Lake, so I'm sure he'll carry it. Oh, yeah. All right, let's hear it from Mr. Keith Taylor.
Extremely destructive. Lost my concentration completely. Talking about the toy of the dolphin. I should admit, I turned Guy to the dark side. It was not until he went fishing with me that he used Rapalas. So, John, sorry. Hey, Do I? No. Can everyone hear that out of the sidewalk? Oh, wait a minute. We're good? This song by two Russian guys, Rimsky and Korsakov. thanks again, Sage, for taking care of Alice. So I got one job too many. I went to work up at Research Park. And my daughter had quit taking care of my dog, and she says, come get your dog. But I was living in the Jonda with my dad. And so I went over to the guy's house. I said, can I tie Alice up by your pine tree? He said, sure. So Alice started there, and then she wormed her way in, and I think she was living inside with her pretty quick. They took care of my dog. The solution was to quit that job. Anyway, thank you for doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, Rube Bloom, The Song of the Bayou, 1928.
All right, Mr. Keith Taylor, who is a multiple Utah State instrument champion, fingerstyle guitar, Utah, Wyoming, and back in 2003-4, he won the International Fingerstyle Guitar Championship at the big festival back in Winfield, Kansas. So thanks, Keith. If you want to hear some good fishing stories about Guy, Keith's the guy to talk to. Okay, next, Miss Kristen Erickson. And back in, I don't know, late 2007, 8, 9, there was a cool little open mic up in the avenues at a place called Two Creeks Coffee. It's now, I think, a proper coffee. But they used to have a Wednesday night open mic that was pretty small, with not a lot of folks, but Guy and Kristen and a few other regulars would show up, and Kristen was in the process of recording her first CD, or just finishing it, I think, and so they would, she and Guy would play these great duos together, and just absolutely wonderful. So we're glad Kristen could fly in from the Bay Area to be with us today and play a few songs. So Kristen Erickson.
You know, John, I didn't know that the "Don't Suffer Fools" was really a motto. I just know that I encountered it. I just said that I thought that the battery on my pickup was good, but I showed up once for a performance when Guy was running the sound, and it was out, and oh my God, if looks could kill, I would not be standing here in front of you. But Guy sort of adopted me. I came to the coffee house late, like early 2000s, because I was doing other things and had just moved here, and he sort of adopted me, and I've been really lucky in my life, but one of my most lucky things is that he was my friend. He was the kind of friend who would be really present with me, and he would also tell me the truth. So I would bring songs to him and play them before I played them, and he would tell me what he thought. And
anybody who does any kind of writing, you know that's not common to have someone like that. Like one time I played him something I was working on, and he said, "Oh, it reminds me of Procol Harum, and not in a good way." But this is one that he liked, and it always feels a little bit like a lullaby for me. And so, Sage, Guy was so generous with everything, and he was generous with you. So I feel like you have lots of aunts and uncles here. So if you'll have me. There are some things I know, a few are worth a mention. Everything will come and go. To this there's no exception. Love is always here. It's up to us to see it. Life is never clear, but it's beautiful. There are some things I've learned, and some that I'm still fighting. Growth is always earned, and earning can be biting. Faith can't live with fear, and fear can be so blinding. Love is never easy, but it's beautiful. There are some things I guess that peace must start inside us. Parents don't know best, but they truly love us. That it's up to us in all our tiny ways to try to live our lives so they're beautiful. Trust your heart, live your dream, love who you love, feel how you feel. Once I had a dream while I was barely sleeping. Heard love's the one true thing that always is worth keeping. Could open any heart and answer every prayer, and could make the world beautiful. Thank you. So I think Marv is gonna. This next song is a song that I tried to learn. I used to sing harmonies for Guy on this song a lot, and it's hard to sing a melody for someone who I wish was singing it, right? And I can't do it like he did it, and all of that. So, anyway, but you all probably know it too. So, everybody sing. The water is wide, I cannot cross o'er, and neither have I wings to fly. Give me a boat that can carry two, and both shall row, my love and I. when love is kind, the sweetest flower when first it's new. But love grows old and waxes cold and fades away like summer's dew. There is a ship and she sails the sea. She's loaded deep, as deep can be, but not so deep as this love I'm in. I know not how I sink or swim. Water is wide, I cannot cross o'er, and neither have I wings to fly. Give me a boat that can carry two, and both shall row. My love and I, give me a boat that can carry two.